Well, if we're going to talk about the Master Chief Collection, there's one thing we have to really talk about, and that's, of course, we got to talk about Halo Nightfall. What did you think of Halo Nightfall?
I thought it was very good, very well put together. The only thing I gotta say is that they made Forward Unto Dawn so well. I think they kind of disappointed some people with Nightfall, I guess is the best way to put it. They set their standards so high with Forward Unto Dawn when that came out, and they kind of disappointed some people when Nightfall came out due to kind of more of a basic storyline, I would say.
You would have preferred a more complicated storyline.
I would have preferred a more complicated storyline, maybe a little bit more showing the terrorism going on and stuff instead of spending so much time as a survival race on the Halo installation. The
opening episode of Nightfall basically detailed what you were talking about, which is, you know, Covenant terrorists and things like that, alien terrorists on outer colony world. I think that excited a lot of people, and then you see the other 4 episodes basically just being survival. That's it. It's just survival, which is a simple story. It's a great idea because it's most basic that non-Halo fans can understand it. Okay, you got a bunch of Marines here who want to survive. But I think that for, you know, the Halo fans, they wanted something a bit more complicated than that.
Yeah, they started it off so well, thinking that it's going to have to do with the whole Covenant terrorism. That's the whole reason why they're going out there and stuff. Then it ends up turning into a survival race and people turning on each other.
Yeah. The reviews that I've seen for Nightfall were not positive. A lot of people online openly admitted to hating this series. Me, I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't think it was great, and I certainly didn't think it was better than Forward Until Dawn. I thought it was good, but when you're dealing with Halo, good just isn't good enough, basically, which is kind of unfortunate. It had good production. It had it had amazing production values. It had it had a huge budget, much bigger than Forward Until Dawn did. It had awesome producers. The thing was, it was just too simple a story.
Yeah, exactly. They started themselves off very well, and they just kind of ruined it as time went on and stuff like that. I do gotta say that one positive about it is we did get to see more of the civilian world in 2550, whatever we're in.
It would have been after 2553, I know that.
Yes.
It would have been 2554, 2553, something like that. It would have had to have been after the events of Halo 3.
But it's interesting to see how the civilians kind of are acting during the middle of this war and stuff like that.
Well, it's exciting to know about that. That was nice to see, just civilians on the outer colonies work. It was nice to see the introduction of Locke. I liked Locke as a character. I think Mike Patton, if I remember, if that's the actor's name, I believe it's Mike Patton. I think he did a great job as Locke, and I'm excited to see him for for Halo 5. Props to you, Mike. Don't kick my ass or anything. You did great. He looks like he could kick my ass. Just saying, Mike. Just saying. Not this nerd. Don't beat me up. I defend you. But for me, if there was one complaint I wanted to say, it was not about the story, but about the presentation, how Microsoft chose to distribute this. I think it was a bad idea across the board to distribute this through the Halo channel. Enormous bad decision. In fact, some have argued, in fact, I know for a fact that you've compared this, it was a bad idea to basically release this episodically at all.
Yeah.
We can talk a little bit about, does it work better as a full film? Does it work better as episodes? I know that a lot of people who watched it as episodes hated it. I know that you watched it not as episodes, but as one feature-length film, and you enjoyed it.
Well, when you watch Forward Unto Dawn, if you watch both the episodic and the movie like I had, you can kind of tell in the movie where the episodes kind of cut off because they cut the blank screen each time that they did that.
He did that in Nightfall as well, basically.
But the Nightfall seemed to smooth more in better to fit between each episode, and I think it worked better as a movie than it would have episodically. Why Forward Unto Dawn worked better episodically than it did as a movie.
Fair enough. And I think that also, if they had chosen to release it as feature length, there would have been 2 things that I think were major problems with it that people reference, and I agree with these problems. One was next times. There would have been no next times, which basically spoiled plot points for later episodes.
Yeah.
At the end of every episode, they did a next time, and that wrecked the next time.
Well, in the Nightfall, there wasn't really much more other than them just trying to survive in the next one, so it's not like you could...
Well, it was the reveal of the Hunter Worms.
Yes.
They did an early reveal that these enemies that they were fighting on the Halo ring were in fact Hunter Worms. I figured it out before I'd hit the next time, but they didn't outright come and say it until the next time happened. They wouldn't have said it outright until episode 3 had come out.
Yeah.
So another thing was, I think it was too long of a gap. A week wait was too much of a gap. Some people forgot plot points. Like, there were some plot points that they mentioned just once, and then people kind of forgot about them, and they thought maybe there might have been continuity errors in the episode, when in fact there were, you know, these were mentioned in earlier episodes. Oh, it's not really a continuity error. I know that a lot of people thought a continuity error would have been, why is there water on the Halo rings? When in fact, they actually go out and mentioned it several times over. Well, this is artificial anyway, so of course, you know, yes, the water might evaporate, but it would come back, or maybe it didn't evaporate at all because this isn't really water. I mean, I think I mentioned at one point, it might, for all we know, it could be Mountain Dew game fuel or something. Or you think that's really water that they're drinking. Who knows? It's close enough, basically. So yeah, Nightfall, if you ask me, they should not have released it through the Halo channel exclusively. They also, streaming issues aside, you know, streaming issues were a problem. The episodic release was, you know, the piecemeal release was a bad problem. If you ask me, they should have included the Halo Nightfall Blu-Ray Disc with every copy of Master Chief Collection. Yeah. That's how they should have released it. I liked the Blu-ray cut just fine. That's the same cut that you'll find on, if they ever show it again on Showtime. We will get into Showtime later. But yes, should have been one disc included with Master Chief Collection. If you want to release it as Halo channel, just do it as a bonus. It should have been primarily as a digital release, either included on the disc or as a separate disc.